Alright guys, welcome to the video. Let's just do a quick recap from the last class. And some of the things that we've been talked about so far are choosing articles, figuring out how to choose your own articles through Googling, Google searching and finding your own articles, things that you're interested in. Finding new perspectives on Google. You did some searching on Google to find what different people said about particular topics. Building background knowledge. And we did a word discussion to help you figure out words in context. So now in this session, we're going to talk about what to do while reading and writing. And we're going to talk about how to figure out the main idea of an article or a paragraph. So right now we're going to talk about what to do while you're reading and writing during the process. So during the process of the reading and writing process, there are two elements I want to talk about. One is what you do before reading. So you should be doing something before you read, which is what we did in the last class. We talked about what you do before reading. What to do before reading is you must build background knowledge. You have to build knowledge about a topic before you start to read or before you start to write. So it's not just I jump into something. You have to kind of know yourself. You have to know whether you know the topic. You got to be aware of how much of the topic you know and how much of the topic you don't know. And then you have to figure out what you need to know before you start reading something. So you got to build background knowledge. And why should you build background knowledge? I want you to tell me for a second, why is building background knowledge on topic before reading and writing important? Tell me your perspective. Go. All right, good. So it helps you understand what you're reading. And if you said something like that, that's basically what it is. I mean, ultimately, the reason why you should get some knowledge before you start reading something is because it helps you understand what you're reading. If you don't have no knowledge of anything, you won't know what you're reading. And in general, it does that by preparing you for the text. It prepares you for what you're about to read. Because if you jump into something that has information and you don't know what it is, how are you going to understand it? And it helps you stay grounded and not lost. Things will be mentioned in the article. And then if you don't know anything about the topics, you'll get lost. It fills in missing pieces for you. So when you build background knowledge of something, when you're about to embark on something, listen to a speech, read something, you gotta know where the holes are. What topics, what things do you not know right now that you need to know before you start reading something? And that's how you can empower your ability to understand what you're reading or whatever it is you're about to write. Now, we practice some of that. In this session, I want to practice what you do while you read. While you read, you have to do something called active reading. Active reading. So we talked about what you do before you read, now we're talking about what you do while you read. And that's called active reading. So I want to ask you, active reading is what you do during reading. Okay, during the reading. Actually, as you read. You're wondering, what can I possibly do as I'm reading except read? Well, a lot, believe it or not. So before I go on to tell you, what do you think you need to do while you read? Go ahead and answer that question. All right, good. Well, I want to show you a little bit. I want to kind of go over what you should be doing as you read. Okay, so I'm going to do a little demonstration of what you should be doing as you read something. So here's a topic I'm interested in, which is business and finance entrepreneurship. And here's a blog article. The site is called I Will Teach You Be Rich. Here's the author. Here's the topic. So I'm going to read this out loud. And I want you to pay attention to what I do as I read. How to ask for something from an important person and actually get it. So this is about asking people for things, someone that you're interested in, someone that means something to you, and actually get them to listen to you. I'm thinking, do I know anyone who's important to me? Who do I want to get in contact? What do I want out of that relationship? Okay. Today I'll show you that. Now I'm going to continue reading. Today I'll show you the actual email I used to get best-selling authors and famous celebrities to contribute to an ebook I put together. Now I'm thinking in my mind, oh, this person has an ebook. I wonder what that ebook was about. How many best-selling authors does he know and famous celebrities? Why did he contact those people? What was he trying to what was he ultimately trying to achieve by contacting those people? And what was he trying to get out of his ebook? Where can I get his ebook? How much does it cost? Now I continue. Hint, the email does not look like this, an actual email I received. It says, bro, please send me some small mails that I can read. I don't want you to read this. I don't want to read this long, boring emails. Thanks. This is an email he got. So I'm thinking, wow, people are actually rude to this guy. To this author, people send him rude emails. He says, with emails like these, I hope you appreciate the mental fortitude it takes not to go insane every day of my life. But instead of just mocking the dumb people who read my blog, I want to talk about the very best ones, the people who know how to reach out to VIPs and get a response. So now I'm thinking, wow, this guy interacts with people on his list. He listens to people who send him emails. He has, he cares about people. Some people he likes. He's called some of them dumb, and some of them he differentiates between people on his email list. Some people he says, or his blog, I mean, some people he says are dumb, and some people he calls them the very best ones. I wonder what makes someone, dumb, and what makes someone considered to be one of the very best ones. So now I'm going to pause. You see what I'm doing here? I'm actively reading. As I read, I'm thinking thoughts, I'm asking questions, I'm trying to make a connection between what the heck I'm reading and my own life, because the only purpose to read something is so that you get some benefit. You have to make a connection with your life. Otherwise, what's the point? So don't think that when you read something, it's like, what's the point of it? You have to make the point. You have to find the connection and bridge the gap yourself, right? You can't say, oh, what does this have to do with my life? You have to figure that out. What does this have to do with your life? You have to make a connection, right? So sometimes it's not just about someone spoon-feeding you the topic, but by you making a connection. Even if you know nothing about the topic itself, sometimes there are nuggets in there that will actually will mean something to you. So I wanted to demonstrate to you what active reading actually is, and I want you to actually practice active reading yourself. So now it's your turn. I want to show you how to do it in a Google Doc. I want you to do the same thing. I want you to choose an article and actually do it inside of a Google document. And basically what I want you to do is similar to what I just did. I'm just going to go ahead and open that back up. And then what I want you to do is, this is exactly how I want you to do. I'm going to load the Google document. Say I copy and paste. I want you to copy and paste, like, say the first, I'll tell you in the next slide how many words, but just let me demonstrate for you right now. I'm going to paste a few sentences just to demonstrate. All right. So, you could just go ahead and put your name. So I want you to, as you read here, I want you to basically jot down what's going on in your mind. So today I'll show you, today I'll show you the actual email I used to get best-selling authors and famous celebrities to contribute to an ebook I put together. So now I'm going to write in red, my own, everything I wrote. And so on. So I have a whole bunch of questions and comments and continue. So this is just my own thoughts on just what I'm reading right now. So I want you to do that, but continue on for not the whole article, but I want you to copy and paste, say, the first 150 words and write down your thoughts in red as you read. So go ahead and choose your article, copy and paste the first 150 words, and do it just like I did it. Write in red your thoughts, the questions going on in your mind. I want to see what's happening. All right, go. All right, good. Now I want you to answer these active reading questions about the article. So I want you to go ahead and read the article, and I want you to answer these questions about what you just read. What is this reading all about? Okay, what is this reading all about? What's the main point? Why did the writer write this? What 3 key pieces of information did I learn from this? Why should someone want to read this? So after you've read the article, I want you now to answer these questions. Again, you can do it right into the text box. All right? Just put the URL to the blog article that you're, for the questions you're answering. All right, go. All right, good. Now, I want to move on to another topic, which is the main idea. Okay, how do we figure out, what is the main idea? So I want you to, we're going to pause the video. I want you to tell me, what is the main idea of something? Go. And now let's talk about what is the main idea. The key message the author wants to deliver to you. The main idea is the key message that needs to be transmitted to you based on whatever it is. And the main idea when you're writing is the message you want to deliver to your reader. And the main idea is really important because the main idea is the ultimate message, right? Without the main idea, there's really nothing. It's just fluff, or it's just like a journal with random notes. Why is the main idea important? You must discover the purpose of what you're writing, of what you're reading. The main idea tells you the purpose, right? What's the whole reason behind this whole thing? And you must discover the purpose of what you're writing. Why are you writing something? What is the main idea? All right. The main idea of this whole lesson is that you know how to discover the main idea of this particular lesson, is that you know how to discover the main idea when you read and write. That's the main idea of this lesson right here. So you got to discover the purpose of what you're reading and what you're writing on your own. Finally, you got to understand and gain knowledge while you read. When you get the main idea, you gain knowledge while you read. And if you know the main idea while you write, it's like you're spreading knowledge while you're writing. Because to know the main idea is to know the message. And when you know the message, you could spread it or understand the message. All right, good. So I'm going to ask you a simple question. I'm going to show you a simple question that you can ask to discover the main idea. What is a question you could ask yourself to discover the main idea? This is what you can say to yourself to figure out the main idea. What's the ultimate thing the author is trying to say or communicate with this article? And if you're writing, you could ask yourself, if you're writing something and you want to know what your main idea is, you could say, well, what's the ultimate thing I'm trying to say or communicate with this article? What's the one thing that I'm really trying to say here? Or what's the one thing the author is trying to say? So if you're reading or writing, it doesn't make a difference. The main idea is the same. So now I want you to read this article. Okay, I'm going to post the link and I want you to read this article right here. Okay, we're going to pause. Now I want you to read this next article also. Take a look at it and just read from pages 1 through 4. Skim through it, take a look at what's there. Here it is. All right, good. Now I'm going to demonstrate to you how to find the main idea. Right? Finding the main idea. Okay, so here I'm going to go ahead. To this article. Okay, we're going to go ahead and read this. Look what happens when you try to help the wrong people. I got a great email from an IWT reader that made me smile. I smiled because I sensed his inevitable doom, but I wanted to try to gently guide him away from making a mistake. In the past, I've written about how I don't try to help everyone. It's uncomfortable to admit, but some people just can't be helped. And if they can, it will take a lot longer than I have time for. And today, I want to show you a great example of this. In this email exchange, you'll learn about an adverse selection problem. Here's an email I got out of the blue from IWT reader Scott. And we don't have to read the whole article, okay? Because everything is right there. So you tell me, what do you think the main idea of that is? What do you think the main idea of that article is? Go ahead and tell me, okay? I'll post the link so you can check out the article. You can read the first paragraph. Go. All right, good. So what is the main idea of that article? Ultimately, he's saying you should not try and help everyone. That's the main idea. You shouldn't try to help everyone. Or you should help the people who can mostly benefit from your advice. Okay? One or the two. These are the main idea in that article. Just worded slightly differently. So can there be more than one main idea? Like I just given you example of just with variation of words, but can there be like two completely different main ideas to an article or a topic? No, okay, not really. There can't be one, there has to be one master message. There has to be one master message. Your job is to figure out that message. How do you figure out that message? By asking a ton of questions. That's how you figure out the message. But there can be many key points. There can be many key points to a whole article, but there's one master message. So here's what I want you to do right now. I want you to choose a new article. I want you to paste the link to the article right in the prompt. And I want you to write down the main idea of the article. So your task is to completely write down the main idea of the article, all right, in about 2 sentences or so. So read the article, make sure you read the article, paste the link, and then write down the main idea of the article. All right, go. All right, good. Just to recap, guys, we talked about what you do before reading, right? What you do before you actually read, which is build background knowledge, figure out what you don't know, and look up what you need to know before you get into that text. Or if you're writing something, figure out what you don't know about what you're writing, look it up before you actually start writing. Active read. Read actively. You have to, what's going on in your head? What questions are you asking? What statements and thoughts are you having as you read? Stop, pause, and ask those questions. Listen to your voice. When you're writing, the same thing. Keep asking questions as you write. What am I trying to achieve? What am I trying to say? Then we did the main idea, which is the key message, And finally, you must discover the purpose of what you're reading and what you're writing. All right? All right, guys, that's been the conclusion of this lesson. I'll see you in the next video.